Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the live stream where things are kind of getting out of control with this backlash against Elon Musk in the USA. In fact, I'd say it's gotten so out of control now that this is why the FBI is getting involved and launching a domestic terror investigation into all of this. And by the way, whenever you see me at the start of the video, I've got to address this. Doing this, people think I'm trying to be some sort of a newscaster, like you know, on the TV and pretending, oh yes, no, I'm looking at the screen to make sure I'm live, because there's always a delay, just so you know that. But yeah, these Tesla incidents now in the USA is insane. Now let me show you how it started, and then let's look at what has now happened. So this is how it started. It was all of this sort of, you know, these people going around, and there's all these videos of them. They obviously didn't realize that Teslas have got all of these cameras on them, right? So they go around and they're keying all the cars. I made a post saying, make this guy famous, because he just went around keying Teslas, and now I guess he's pretty famous now because they found out who he is. But there's all these videos of these people, and what amazes me is what these people look like. I did not expect this at all. They're all the same sort of profile when you go through and you look at all these people. It's insane. Now, this is how it's actually transpired now. So this is what happened in Las Vegas earlier. This was yesterday. I was going to say earlier today, but the US is 8 hours behind me. So this, depending on the area, but this is what happened in Vegas. Massive response because someone set alight a Tesla dealership. But actually one of the guys who threw the Molotov cocktail actually didn't know what he was doing, threw it on himself. So there's justice for you. Now, this is what we had from Pam Bond then. This is what she's just said. I'll just turn the echo off.
We have people were locking up on that. We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out, because we're coming after you. And if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are. So,
and I think that's a good point as well, is that because what I was thinking about when I kept hearing all these stories, and again, you've seen all these posters going up around London of Musk as well. I started thinking about that and I said, hold on. This isn't just some random people coming together here. This is obviously very well orchestrated and well organized for so many people to be coming together to be doing the exact same thing. Someone's organized this. There's probably some sort of funding behind it. And I do hope that the FBI, when they launch their inquiry, finds out who these people are. Now, there's certain groups that are going crazy about this at the moment because of the designation of being called domestic terror, because they're saying, no, it's just vandalism. And in this state, you know, if it's up to $500, then or up to $1,000, then it's just a misdemeanor anyway. So, you know, it doesn't really matter, and that this is just being used as an excuse to, you know, lock people up and all this other stuff. You see, this is the madness now that we live in, where people have this ideology who think it's okay to just go around and damaging other people's property. Think if this is your car, right, or whatever you drive, and someone comes up and keys the entire thing, or they spray paint it, or they smash it with a hammer or something. You have worked really hard for that. You've worked your backside off to earn the money to buy that vehicle, and you've got all these people now going around. Well, I mean, what has it even got to do with those people who own those vehicles? You think back to a year ago and you had all these people who are the ones damaging right now, who loved Teslas. They loved them. Oh, they're environmentally friendly, they're electric vehicles, all of this. Now all of a sudden they've done this massive U-turn and they're going around and they're destroying and attacking these things. It's absolute absolute madness. Please click the like button if you agree. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And we're going to continue on. We've got lots more to talk about. So let's continue on here then. This is what's now been announced. It's the they are now treating this as we've talked about all this already, but they've got an investigation going on into all of this, and Trump has vowed to treat those who vandalize the Teslas in protest to Elon Musk's job cuts and the dismantling of the federal government through this is Doge basically, so this is US aid and all the other stuff. He's going to label them domestic terrorists. These people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them, he said last week. Now, if you didn't see Wednesday's video, oh my goodness, straight away I wanted to show you, this is my back office for my YouTube channel. So this video was deemed unfit for YouTube right away. You can see this is the monetization. It basically earned no money from adverts for that video, and they said it's not suitable. So that's why please make sure to subscribe, because I have to deal with this sort of nonsense all the time. Hopefully someone's going to take care of this very soon. And if you haven't joined the newsletter, please join the newsletter as well. It's an amazing newsletter. Now then, another incident that has taken place today in the last few hours was a active, we can't even say the word because we're on YouTube here, but there was an incident at the CIA headquarters, a pretty serious incident actually. And in fact, I can show you this headline. It will show you a lot more clearly what happened outside the CIA headquarters in Virginia. So there was a heavy police deployment with shots fired outside of the headquarters. So this was a massive police response, absolutely enormous as to what's happening. So we're just waiting to hear an update on this, but there hasn't been so far. And that's interesting because it was only on May the 4th that we had the other one that took place. There was another man that did something very similar outside the CIA headquarters. So it's very bizarre that we've had two similar stories in the space of 2 weeks. Now, we've also had this that's just come out. Again, I'll turn the echo.
One of the things that we discovered pretty quickly was there was about 2,900 people that were supposed to work in the building. Turns out only 49 were showing up full time on a 5-day.
Wait, no, slow it down. 2,900 people. How many showed up?
On average, the highest that we saw on a 5-day work week was 49 people, and this would be at Fannie Mae. And Freddie Mac has a similar problem. We're going to fix it. President Trump hired a businessman to do this, and we're going to fix it for him. One of the things that we do.
I mean, that is absolutely insane. And this isn't isolated, by the way. This is happening all over the place. There is some of the exposés they've now done into these buildings are mind-blowing. There was one that I saw, I can't actually remember the full detail. I think it was Carrie Lake that did a sort of report on it. And I was watching it just before I went to sleep. So it's one of those ones. And there was this building, absolutely huge, skyscraper, beautiful, all glass, and I think it was like 30 conference rooms and all this. And it was kind of like a ghost government office. No one really ever worked there. You know, the huge offices on every floor, and they signed this really long lease. It was costing taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. So there's certain things like this that can't even be cancelled. There was a lot of very nefarious stuff that happened just with the transitional handover as well, where some of these contracts were extended and there was clauses put in that they couldn't be cancelled, and all sorts of weird, bizarre stuff. This is why I know some of you are not happy. Goodness, you made it clear after Wednesday's video with some of the stuff I was saying. If I get any more emails, it's like, people are angry if you don't support Palestine. They're angry if you don't support Israel. They're angry if you don't support Ukraine. They're angry if you don't support Russia. These are the emails I get every day, like all in caps. Please stop emailing me. I'm not interested. I'm not going to read the emails. I don't even know where I was going now, but this building was crazy huge. And what are they, like, what is even going on with this building? Why do they need this building? No one even knows. Another one then, Trump is actually considering banning travel now from dozens of countries. So this is still waiting to be confirmed. Epoch Times just put this out, but there's 41 countries on this list. The usual suspects will be on there: Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Cuba, North Korea. But you've also got Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, and South Sudan who have joined the list. And then there's another 26. So you've got everywhere from Belarus to Pakistan and other countries like this. So we've got a lot going on. Now, this is a really interesting story. Let me share the screen again. This is really interesting. Now, have you been following Enoch Burke? So he is an Irish teacher, and to cut a very long story short here, he was suspended from his school because he wouldn't use pronouns for a student, right? So he wouldn't use the pronouns, so he was suspended from his school because he's a devout Christian, so that is his belief. He doesn't believe in that, so there you go. I don't really understand what the argument is, but apparently the judges did see that there was a big argument. So he went to court, he was suspended, but what did he do? He returned to his job, and they then put a restraining order on, said he couldn't go to his job. So he continued to do it, so they put him in prison. I mean, it went on forever and ever. So what the family have just done, and this was, I think, about a week ago, was they heard that the Irish PM was going to be speaking in DC. So they all flew over there, and I knew this was going to be a train wreck before it happened, but they all flew over there, and they got on a flight. Now, this is what actually happened at the gala, and I think they really messed up here. I've got to turn the sound off because okay, I've got to mute this one or else it's going to give me a copyright strike. But I think this was a big mistake. They didn't even get to, I mean, it was crazy what happened. As soon as they walked in, I mean, have a strategy, guys. Have a strategy. Don't just start shouting before you even get in the room. Someone please help these people with a PR manager or something like that, because they got absolutely kicked out before they even had a chance. So this just happened a few days ago, and then have a guess what happened yesterday. What a surprise. The court has now frozen his bank account and his assets. What do you think to this story? I think this is insane. Absolutely insane. What's happening in Ireland in general is insane. We just saw Conor McGregor at the White House. His speech now has racked up something like 20 million views. So people all around the world are seeing it. And there's been marches as well in Ireland. So come on. We've even got old, very, very old ladies. I saw this one lady, she was like, it must have been 90 years old on this march from a rural village. She was interviewed and she just said, look, I'm just here because I just want Ireland to be Irish. I don't know why people are calling me racist. I just want Ireland to be Irish. I'm the only one in my area and I don't know any of these people. They don't even speak any English. And people then giving backlash to this old lady. I mean, this is how messed up the mindset of people are now. It's sad. It's sad that this has been done. This big propaganda campaign has been done against people like this. This was one that you didn't really see much of until the BBC did a very small piece. But there was actually an incident yesterday in London where a van drove into a group of people. Yet again, this happened. And you didn't see anything on the news. Eventually, the BBC did put something out, but it just said that there was a crash on the Strand. And a man, he crashed by accident and happened to kill some people, injure some people. And but it was just a crash. It was an accident. Nothing to worry about here. Carry on with your lives. This is the sort of stuff that keeps coming out. And then we had this one. We're moving over to the UK, by the way. We're into UK news here. So Liz Kendall says young people will be pushed, i.e. forced to join the British Army to cut youth unemployment. Work and Pensions Secretary announces plan to get young people into the armed forces as part of massive cuts to benefits. Yes, she said that this is going to slash the benefits bill because they need to save money. They're also doing a lot of extreme measures, all against the British people, by the way, not against anyone else. So they're going to be putting all these cuts in. This is how the MOD is going to bolster the numbers with young British men aged 18 to 24. Oh, actually, sorry, let me just correct that. 16 to 24. Yes, I must have missed that the first time. That's jaw-dropping. So 16 to 24-year-olds, they want to get these 16-year-olds into the armed forces, the 642,000 people who are currently unemployed. Well, if they just adopted better measures, these people wouldn't be employed. You know, I don't want to go on to a massive rant here, but this is the sort of thing that annoys me. There's all these measures they can do to get employment up. They can bolster employment so easily, but they don't. They're just doing all of these ridiculous policies rather than actually helping to help these young people to get into work. And they've caused all this damage. There's a lot of mental health issues we talked about on Wednesday. They've caused all this damage as well to all of these young people. So we could talk about this all day, but this is what they want to do. They want to get all these young people into the military. Now, I'm not. There's so much I could talk about, but let me come off this topic. I said, I'm on the fence with this one. I think what they're doing is shocking, trying to get all these young people into the army when they could help them to get a job. Now, I think the military is a great thing. I joined as a boy soldier as well. I was under 18 and it did great for me. It did wonders for me. I had no prospects. I had no job. There wasn't really anything that I could do. The only thing I was good at was I think I got a good grade in graphic design, something like that. But I didn't have any grades in anything else. So there was nothing I could do with that, right? So I joined the military, I joined the army, and I really excelled in the army. I did really well in the army. And it set me up for life. It definitely did. But do I think it's right to force people in? No, I don't think it's right to force them in. I think it should be a personal choice, especially people don't have any loyalty to this government and to these politicians. They've become so out of touch with the populace that people don't feel any loyalty. They don't want to. I did a video you probably saw if you're a loyal subscriber. Hold on, let's get the sub button on here. If you're a loyal subscriber to the channel, you probably saw that I did that video where the guy went out and he interviewed people on the street. And all these people with British accents said, oh, well, I'm not really British. My family's from XYZ, right? They name all these places. So I'm not really British, so I wouldn't be interested in fighting for this country. I'd just go back home if there was anything like that. You see, you got all these issues as well. I think we need this unity to come back, but you're never going to get unity while the populace, and this is the same for any country, I was trying to give a broad example, feel that they are getting shafted, as it were. And that is what people feel at the moment. And I think that's why you've seen this massive U-turn in the USA, because people want their country back. And I know some of you don't like it, but I support it. I think it's a great thing. Yes, you're going to see some measures go too far, but that's just the way these things happen. And then they'll balance out, and then things will get stronger. And we need to see that in the UK. We need to see that in Europe and other places. Will we see it? Not yet for a while. But it will happen eventually. Thank you so much for watching today. Take care. God bless you. God bless your families. And I will see you for a walk and talk, hopefully on Friday. Bye for now.